Did you wake up this morning thinking that your computer just didn't have enough RGB lighting, and no matter what it takes, you need to get even more inside your PC? Well, don't worry, you're in the right place, because today we're not looking at Strimmers, even though that name would suggest it was an RGB garden strimmer. Wouldn't that be amazing? But this is actually the Strimer Plus, and I first saw these a few weeks ago over at CES, but they're now a real product. They're not cheap, but they're not crazy expensive either. And this is like a starter pack, so you get your basic cable inside the box. And the way it works is that the cable itself isn't actually RGB, that's just like a normal grade that you'll see on the back of this. But then it's got this almost cable comb effects sort of thing that go over the top. So you've got what look like power cables, but these are actually just like a coating with RGB sort of lighting veins, shall we say, that go down. And you can have all of these different effects. It is controlled either with your motherboard or with this junction box. So if you're using older motherboard, then fantastic. You can just go into your computer, press a few buttons and get it working. There is quite a lot of bend in this. I wouldn't say you could go really tight, but I don't see an occasion when you'd sort of need to. So no matter how you want to put this in your system, you should be able to get it to fit. It's worth noting that these are just extensions, so you still need to use the existing cables that are in your system. You just sort of lock them on and then attach this to your motherboard and you're ready to go. So that's the 24 pin, but we do also have another box, and this is for our graphics card with our PCIe cables. Once again, it looks very similar, except this one is a little bit longer. I quite like the fact that this actually comes standalone, so you could get this without the micro ATX, or without the ATX 24 pin cable, I should say. And then you hook this directly up to your motherboard straight from the cable itself. So if you're just wanting to make your graphics card look a little bit blingy, or maybe draw more attention to that part of your PC, you can do this. To connect up this little junction box thing, it's worth noting that you do actually plug it into the SATA power on your PC, and then this little cable goes out to the addressable RGB on your motherboard. And while I'm not using this, you can actually add in additional RGB strips and then have it all through this box and synced. There you go, plugging these in and then turning on our system. Is this going to work first time? I'd be very upset if it doesn't. I'd be very surprised as well. Right, here we go. All connected, moment of truth. Have I not turned it on at the back? Oh, I have. What have I done? Oh, am I being really silly? I'm being really silly, aren't I? What I've tried to do is power on a computer with no power cables. So what I decided to do in the end, after mucking about and trying to work out how I can have one in my hand and still have one in the system and can control them all at the same time, was to plug one of them in, and then this literally just shows you that this is purely just an unconnected power cable with an RGB strip on the front. You've got 4 different buttons on the lian-li controller, so at the moment I am just using this controller. It's not connected to the addressable RGB. And we've got 2 different mode buttons, a speed button and then like a brightness button. So at the moment this is on one of the brightest settings, but if we cycle through the different modes, you can see we almost have like these RGB effects that almost like show that there's power going through. That's the appeal for me anyway, to I guess make it look like the light is reflecting the power that's flowing through the cable. You can also have it as more of like a static color, as you can see, and then you can cycle through all of the different colors. Yes, there you go, cycle through all of the different colors. But I don't think that actually looks quite as good. I mean, let me know in the comments below what you would go for, but I quite like the movement effects that you get. That's really neat. So yeah, there you go. So you can also have like a rainbow effect as well, which looks really good on the ATX because you pretty much have one color per channel, which works really, really nicely. But you can see it gets really bright. I mean, look at that. That blows your face off. Speed button as well can make it go faster or slower. Oh my word, look at that. Why would you want that? Make it flash red, wait. Oh, that's rainbow. Are you getting dizzy? Oh god. That looks quite cool though. You can just basically cut this video together and it was just me saying, that looks cool, that looks really cool. That's a bit much. So now we have the PCIe cables hooked up directly to the motherboard header with the addressable RGB, and you can see that this now syncs up with the rest of the system. But I think that some effects are going to look better than others. You're definitely going to want to have a separate effect, I guess, running through this channel on Aura Sync or the MSI Mystic Live or whatever software you're using. Just because I think at the moment this looks a little bit, dare I say, boring. Now that's not to say that it isn't bright and vivid, but I think if you're buying a product like this, you probably want it to be out there. And so having all of these crazy effects that you can see on the ATX version, to me, look more dramatic and just, I think, a bit more what I'd be going for if I was going to install this product anyway. Let's get this in the rest of the system and see what the whole thing looks like. Oh, I even done the side panel for you. How about that? Turn it on. Oh, no, 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 no. And that's not a very nice noise. See, that wouldn't have happened if I had put the side panel on. So yeah, you probably are going to run into a couple of problems, I think, with placement. That's not to say it's not doable, because clearly it really is. It's just, I think if you were maybe in this particular PC, you wanted to route these from the side, I don't think that would look very good. And as long as you maybe move this clip at the top so it clears the fan, I quite like the overall look, really. It is definitely very out there, and that's okay. This is not designed for everybody. And in terms of the pricing, you're looking at $40 for the PCIe cables, and then $60 if you want the ATX. And you sort of need both, really. I think you could get away with just the PCIe, but you sort of need the two together to sort of complete the look. So that's then $100 for what is just RGB lighting. It's expensive, but I suppose you do get the benefit of the braided cables as well, but then again, you're never going to see them, so there's not really that much point, to be honest. I think my personal favourite, that's quite nice. Let's go with that for now. And then let's lower the speed a little bit so that it looks a little bit more tasteful. There you go. So this is probably how I would have it anyway, but you can obviously choose something that you like or just change it around. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below whether you would buy this or not. As I say, it's definitely quite out there. It's probably not something I personally will be putting in my personal system, but I'll definitely be using this in a few builds, that's for sure. I think it works as well if you have a load of different RGB lighting in there as well. But I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. There are Amazon affiliate links to this in the description below, assuming they are available at the moment, but if they're not, I'll update them when they are, so we can keep track of pricing. If you've liked this video though, please subscribe for more videos just like this. Let me know what you want me to cover and review next. The doorbell is going, so this is time to make my exit. Thank you and goodbye.